Next thing you know, the Kenny Burns in Atlanta. I'm gonna tell you a funny story. I want to speak to why how you got there in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But I was debating with a dude. A dude was debating. This probably was probably 20 years, 19 years ago. I don't know. It was long. A dude was convincing me that you live in Atlanta. You from Atlanta. I was like, nah, he from DC. And then he got somebody was with him, co-signed it.
Yeah.
So it was like they outnumber me,
right?
Saying that you from Atlanta, right?
Did you
so
smack the shit out the nigga?
I just bowed down, man. And they was convinced, right?
Yeah.
So how you get to Atlanta? How you make such a splash with guys gonna argue that you from Atlanta versus DC?
So 1992 was the first time I went to Atlanta. Freaknik 1992. Okay. I had been, on papers and couldn't really leave. I tried to go play ball at Montgomery Junior College. My cousin went, on down to Morehouse, you know what I mean? And so he kept telling me about this Freaknik. You got to come to Freaknik, nigga. Right. You got to come. I'm telling you, this shit is the black college heaven, niggas. The bitches, it's the thing. So I'm like, all right, cool. I went down there after my PO let me go. And I just never seen nothing like that. Back then we had the Cosby Show, Different World, but you never, we had Howard University, so we knew what the black college experience looked like, because we were going to take all their girls. And you know what I mean? And every strip I ever been around was around the corner from Howard. So when you look at Howard times 5,
damn.
You got Clark Atlanta, Spelman, you know what I'm saying? Morris Brown, function on a high level. We don't count Morehouse. But just what you saw women-wise and black, beautiful, everything, it was it was intoxicating. And when I went down there with no social media, so my cousin down there talking about I'm Scarface, my cousin just got out, he coming down here, we gonna do the whoop-de-wop. So when I went down there, man, honestly, I literally just saw a bunch of opportunity. The way he set me up on campus and told people my story and hooping, because basketball was first language for black men back then. If you could hoop. So we started hooping around campus, then start doing around city, and then, Freaknik was over. I had to come home, and I was like, damn, I want to go back to that rotten motherfucker, because this crab in the barrel shit was getting to me. I was getting sucked back in it. I met a whole nother plug at Montgomery Junior College, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm going to school, I'm trying to fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you trying to shake that.
Yeah, here come these E's and these goddamn, so. Came home, man, decided I was moving to Atlanta. You know what I mean? I called my cousin, like, I'm coming down there, we're gonna take over the party shit. Cause back then, it wasn't nothing defined. You know what I mean? It was here. Here we had the Ritz, we had Chicago's, we had East Side, we had so much. But
were you doing parties up here? Not to cut you off.
Nah.
What made you, because the Freaknik made you say?
Because Puff did parties here when I was in high school.
Okay.
And I went to a party when I was 16 years old. At the Opera. It was off Columbia Road. And he just was in there with some celebrity motherfuckers. And we was young, getting money, so we buying bottles, but we young. And he like, who y'all? Like, what y'all doing? I'm like, oh, we from here, da, da, da. And that's when we first met. And our history, we've had a very colorful history, but yeah, so now I ain't throw party, but when I went to Atlanta and saw it was wide open, I was like, I'm gonna do parties down there. So me and my cousin made a plan, came home. I was fucking with some niggas I shouldn't have been fucking with, made it by the skin of my teeth to get out of here.
Right, yeah.
Got down there, got my apartment, and the rest is literally history.
Who started the Freaknik?
DC Metro Club. If anybody else say anything different, they full of shit.
Yeah, I wanted to get you on file for that. That's what I always was taught, but I know you there. I want to hear your perspective on that.
No, and big shout out to Terry Ross. He's executive producing a new Freaknik documentary. Jermaine Dupree's executive producing. Luke is executive producing it. And my man P. Frank directed. I'm in it. Right. But that's going to be a motherfucker about Freaknik.
Yeah. Terry supposed to come on here, man. Terry keep his hands in everything, man. Terry 3 called Molly, man.
Yeah.
He stay keep his hand in something, man.
He a hometown hero.
Yeah,
sure.
Good man. It's a hell of a story with him too, but I'll let him spill his story once he get out here, when he get on here, right?
Big news.
Man. So you down there, you throwing the parties, your name ringing, know the girls ringing, you know what I'm saying? The dudes, like who the new dude in town making all this noise down here, man. Did you encounter anybody, any jealousy for some people trying to bring you harm, or was it all love, or what was that transition like?
Nah, never. We was kind of about that life, you know what I'm saying? Right. Everybody be like them light-skinned niggas, but we was blue-black on the inside. We'd bust your motherfucking head. But we ended up linking with one of my best friends to this day. His name is Wendell White Slick. Okay. And he was kind of like some BMF before BMF. And so 93, when we decided to take over the club stuff, this man had the Lexus 3-piece BBS, the Land Cruiser, the Range, all that. And he was kind of the backer for the initial, 2620 run we had. So we just Funk Clinic Friday, that thing. But because of him, we married the AUC college culture with the street, with the Atlanta culture.
Right.
And so, Sheer Magic Barbershop was like a central location. That was actually on campus, but all the city people came there too. But then Deion's 21, Deion Sanders was out there, so he had the popping joint. We was knocking all them off. Like we just, so we was young, we was around, you know what I mean? And I think that grew the respect. And then, we were doing this club called the Phoenix that ended up becoming the Warehouse, which, was the home of Funk Clinic. But, we kind of did our aligning of the necessary parties so that it wouldn't be.
And it's crazy because back in that time, up here, I just heard you just say the college. So you look at up here, you had Mark Barnes as the college, and I had like the streets for the party.
Yeah.
So you, like I said, you took that formula and put it together.
Without question.
Down in Atlanta, you had both elements together, party together.
Because the only thing smoking down there, you had things around the city, you know what I mean? But where everybody was really only 112. That everybody wanted to go and be at, you know what I mean? And then the Phoenix was also like that, and I was closest to the colleges.
Right.
So the Phoenix ended up becoming, like I said, the Warehouse. But I was at the Phoenix, we was in there heavy before we took it over and started doing Funk Clinic Friday. But it was the most amazing run in the history of parties as far as that era, because we brought Snoop, Pop, the Big Mac promo with Biggie and Craig. So a lot of history was made at that club. Outkast's first real stage for the school. So
right. I know you probably got this question 1,000 times. I'm just curious to know my followers. What's your 3 biggest parties?
Man, that's funny, dog. Well, in life, my 3 biggest parties would be my 50th that just passed at Paisley Park. I say Prince is my father.
Hold on, let me see, because I'm going to see if you sent me an invitation, because I ain't.
Oh, my bad.
You ain't sent it? Oh, okay.
Well, my son had brain surgery.
Oh, okay.
So I ain't really, if I didn't get it immediately out, then people was hitting me.
You say no more, man. The son, say no more.
Yeah, so Paisley Park, Versace Mansion for my 35th, and probably the world famous Compound, birthday bash. I just talked about this on Cam Newton's joint too. But that was the night, well, y'all heard of the world famous Compound. So that was my house for like 10 years, like a decade. You know what I mean? That's where I hosted and became the lifestyle special with all the spirit stuff and, the liquor game. But yeah, that party was, Future, Drake, Kanye West, Shawty Low, Outkast, 2 Chainz, and one by one, I ushered them in the club. So we used to have one entrance, but in this particular night, I knew everybody was coming. I was like, yo, tell me when they getting out the car, and when they reached the back door, I had security, like, let me know. So when they came, and I gave them a shout out. So if it was, got the #1 single, da-da-da, ladies and gentlemen, boom, drop the music, and they walk in, and everybody was just, so it was like a show.
Interest.
But out of this world. And then the last one was Kanye West. And I was like, wait till I get my money right. Yeah. Oh, and it just, I'm talking about, like I got goosebumps in that, but it was like everybody levitated. So that probably was like, for me as a host, was amazing. But I just did the Apollo with D Nice, man. Came out that phone booth in that motherfucking St. Laurent mink. So that's another. I've had a lot of moments, man, but them some of my favorites.
That's another Terry Ross behind the scenes joint on that, right?
No, he was Carnegie Hall.
Oh, Carnegie Hall.
Yeah, and I'm doing that July 12th.
You say
the Apollo.
Oh, okay.
And in the 89 years of the Apollo, this event that D Nice's Club Quarantine did that I hosted, they said was one of the best events they've ever had in their 89-year history. So
in Apollo.
In the Apollo.
A lot of history was made in Apollo.
Come on, man. And then that's why I be, on these youngers when they talking about calling themselves the GOAT.
Right.
And I host this and I host. You cannot hold a candle to time.
Right.
Time will let you be known as a GOAT. As a matter of fact, other people will label you as a GOAT or a legend. Take your time, young blood, because when you get the fact checking and who did what, you look crazy talking that shit some of these youngers be talking about.
Right. Yeah. So if Kenny Barnes put on his door 36 days, I'm not doing nothing, don't call me, nothing. Who is the next person you think they should call to be the second slot, to do what you do?
First of their generation, let's say that. I don't really know them, to be honest. You got a lot of good mic men, you know what I mean? But I don't think people care about people the way I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I you can even look at where the parties is. I mean, you could blame it on the hookah with all them damn tentacles and 45 motherfuckers at one table with 3 girls. Like, you know what I mean? It's just weird times. Like, people ain't in their bag. But there's a lot of good mic men. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I wouldn't give nobody that title. Not saying I even want it.
Right.
I'm not even in the clubs no more, but I just don't know many youngers that's like, and I want to meet them if they're out there. So
Okay.
the guy in DC, Fly Guy DC in Atlanta, he's a great mic man. He's one of my mentees. He's from DC too, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's a good mic. I mean, and there's some I can't really think of them all right. What's the young boy here? He got great cadence too. Tune. I forget his name. See, but that's how like people ain't making the splash. But I guess it's time. It's a different era now, and I don't think that's as important to them anymore as it was in our generation or my generation.
Exactly.
Or my time doing it.
Right. What inspired like your creativity, like your style, how you came about hosting the party, the stuff you brought in the party? Like, where did that come from?
You know, people don't give DC enough credit for its flavor. And I want to break down flavor. Okay. Like when we was growing up, we had uniforms. You know, we had the gray sweatpants, black tees, you know what I'm saying, all the things, right? And then, you know, Madness, and then obviously eventually the All Days, even Museum. Now you got more colorful with the offerings. But we had so much music and culture in DC. Like my father stayed off Columbia Road. First time I heard Elvis Crespo, you know what I mean, or Hector Lavoe, you know what I mean, Fela Kuti, like this is, you know, Africans, you know, Fela Kuti like the god, but like I heard all this shit young, you know what I mean, Jamaican music, like, you know what I mean, DC's full of all that. So I would experience things growing up and just be trying shit. When I was at Wilson, I was putting that shit on, and we was in the go-go. I was in the go-go dyeing my purple Levi's jean jacket outfit to match my purple Air Force Ones, or I would dye my hair the top orange to match my Syracuse joint with the Bo Jackson.
Like that, huh?
Yeah, I was like, when I got into like the 11th and 12th grade, I always putting that shit on. My daddy used to be the clothes man too. So he always had me in, like, when the Fonz was out, when we was young, and he had me in leather jackets with the jeans with the white tees. So I always loved clothes, and I got it from him and my Aunt Lena. But I used to like just to be fresh at all times. So, but I give the credit to DC. But a lot of people be like, but y'all wore. I said, we wore that, but we also did this. If you go to y'all era, if you go to y'all era, y'all was putting that shit on. I'm talking about like silks and the you know what I mean, and look at pictures of Tony Lewis and Rain and back in the day. Like y'all was so. I don't think people give DC enough credit for its style revolution and even the confidence. You know what I mean? Like people always talk about style. I'm like, well, it's a difference between style and fashion. You niggas today, y'all just put on anything, think you fresh, because you don't even know this Balenciaga what I got on. You know what I mean? Or like you don't know, but I turn my back, you might see the logo. But I'm just saying, like, it's on me, like, and it's in me. You niggas be trying to just push it on because it's a logo and it costs some money, but I kill you in some goddamn J. Crew. Like
out the park, niggas know me. Curtbone, little homie. All days, yeah. Been a road.
Thank you for watching Changing Jewels on Curtbone TV. If you like the jewels that we are dropping, subscribe, hit the notification, and share with some friends. And I'll see you on the next episode of Changing Jewels, Curtbone TV.